All right. Hope you guys like that new intro and welcome to the talk show tonight. I'm Jason Snyder, your host, and we got Sophie there, my co host, again here tonight. So
Hi.
we are, I think this is episode, let me see here, get that set up somewhere. We've been having a little technical difficulties tonight, guys, so I apologize. But this is live talk show episode number 49. Been cool if it'd been 50 for the New Year's episode,
Mhm.
but we hit 49. So, but if you haven't checked out our website, definitely check that out. It is crawfordcountyghosthunters.org. Definitely visit that if you guys have not been on our website. You can email us at illinoishauntings@gmail.com tonight if you have any type of location that you think might have the presence of paranormal activity. Definitely send us an email, and we'll try to get back with you guys as soon as possible regarding that. We're on Facebook right now, facebook.com// Crawford County Ghost Hunters. We're also dual streaming to YouTube. So if you guys are out there on YouTube, you prefer that better, youtube.com/ Crawford County Ghost Hunters, or at Crawford County Ghost Hunters if you want to subscribe. Got computer problems again. I don't know what's going on over here. This is a weird night already.
Mine has already stopped. Yours will keep going.
Yeah, it's
That's on
pretty.
your end.
Yeah,
Keep your spirits over there, Jason.
I don't know. It may be because I was hearing stuff earlier, and then we had that problem. So,
Hmm.
but anyway, we've got a phone number also you can reach us at. It is 1-312-572-9811. If you want to leave us a message, if you got any type of weird stuff going on in your home, business, or any other location, we will get back with you as soon as possible. If you leave us a voicemail, we will get in contact with you. Music tonight is by the Midnight Syndicate. As always, all rights reserved, used with permission. You can visit their website at midnightsyndicate.com. You can also find them on YouTube and Spotify. I think they are everywhere. So just check them out, guys. Give them a like. But yeah, we got a big show lined up for tonight. This is our New Year's show. And basically, we're reflecting back on 2021. So it's going to be a cool time. Unfortunately, Sophie comes in toward the end of 2021, so she's going to be sitting here like, "What the hell just happened?" So she's not going to know what's going on. So
You invited me in like June, and then I
yeah,
was like, I'm gonna go to New York instead.
New York was probably a lot better, trust me, than what we were probably doing in June. I don't know what we were doing in June, but we're going to talk about it. I can't remember what we were doing in June, but I got a big list here, guys, that I'm reading off of, so bear with me. I was going to put it up on the screen, didn't have time to do all that today. If you guys like the new show intro, though, give me a thumbs up or tell us you like it in the comment section. Maybe it was too long, I don't know, but gives you time to get into the show, I guess, and get started. But definitely let us know if you guys like that new show intro. Oh, we already got people telling us they liked it, so cool. Terry says she loves the new intro. So yeah, thanks guys, appreciate that. So got a new ending too that'll be a lot easier. So I got your comments up, and we'll try to answer any questions and comments you guys might have throughout the show tonight. But again, we're going to be looking back on 2021, and me and Sophie's already done an investigation here in 2022, Pine Lawn, imagine that. And I think, haven't we? Yeah, it was like New Year, or did we do one?
We
I
did
don't
it.
know. Maybe that was Christmas.
That was on Christmas. Yeah, that
It
was the first
was.
time I
That was
ever
20.
went
Yeah, so we'll throw that in the 2021 one. I was there on New Year's,
to.
so yeah, I'll talk about that too. But all right, guys. What we're going to start out talking about, beginning of 2021, our very first investigation for 2021 that we conducted on live anyway, was Whispers Estate, Mitchell, Indiana. And I believe we have, let me see here, how many locations I got to talk about tonight. About 43 locations we went live at during 2021. We ended up doing 203 investigations in 2021, but only went live on like 40 some of them. Like I said, we don't go live on all our investigations just because the clients sometimes don't allow us to go live. The locations, we might be at, the people there, they don't want us to go live at some of these locations, so we only hit some of them with the live feed. But and sometimes
Also, I feel like sometimes going live sometimes interferes with the paranormal investigation.
it does. That's why, like, I mean, and I've tried to tell people that, it's like it's not that I don't like to go live to show the public, but yeah, it does interfere with it because I mean I've got the bright lights in my eyes. We can't see, and it's just distracting from the actual paranormal activity that might be taking place. So you're definitely right. You figured that out already. I mean, it's definitely a distraction.
Detective Sophie on the case.
Yeah, Inspector Gadget Sophie. But yeah, our first investigation was there at Whispers Estate in Mitchell, Indiana. Now, Whispers Estate has rumored to be one of the most haunted places in the United States. I think it was like, I don't remember. They listed it as number 4 and on some list at one point in time as one of the most haunted locations. But we went there, and there was a story about Rachel, and the whole story. We debunked a lot of the story regarding Whispers Estate. That's why it's on my kind of like a little bit hoaxy list, because the story involving what happened there and the fire and everything we debunked. There was a lightning strike that took place at the location. We actually found record of that, and supposedly it was a mysterious fire started by somebody else in the house. It was actually caused by a lightning strike. A lot of the story there was just bogus. That's why we weren't a big fan of Whispers Estate in Mitchell, Indiana. Although we did have a kind of strange thing that took place there that we never could debunk. Dickerson was still on the team then. Me and Dickerson tried to debunk this. We were upstairs in the room, and this big bright light. I don't know if you guys remember this. We're talking way back at the beginning of 2021 here, guys. So you're gonna have to go back memory lane. All of our videos, by the way, are up on our page. You can go to our video section, and I just noticed when I was looking back through these yesterday or day before, a lot of them didn't get titled, or they're not showing up as titled, so you have to click on them to see what they are. I'm gonna try to fix that problem, so all of them come up with the proper title and everything. But if you scroll back through the page, they're titled. But if you click on just our video section, it'll show like a lot of them untitled. So you just have to kind of click and figure out what's what. But yeah, I remember that we had this light anomaly upstairs in Whispers Estate that we could not explain. Like this big bright light shot through the camera system, killed our cameras for a minute, like made the IR lights go crazy on our cameras. And there were no, like cars causing it from the outside. We drove a car by, we couldn't figure that out. I mean, it was actually something we didn't really debunk. I mean, so I guess there's a little, maybe a little activity Whispers Estate, but the whole story behind the place, is definitely pretty much a hoax. So Whispers Estate's pretty cool, but yet it's got its little little things I didn't like about it. But we're going to move on because I've got a long list here to talk about some exciting things that happened. And me and Sophie had some crazy things happen here. Was that Christmas night?
No, that was Wednesday. That was literally on Wednesday or Tuesday.
Was it Wednesday?
Wednesday.
I'm all messed up, guys.
No, it was Thursday morning. I remember. Thursday morning.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, we've had some crazy stuff go on too. We want to tell you guys about. And I think we want to wait till toward the end to get to that, or
yeah, I feel like that one ends with a bang. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah, that's sort of an end of the show type of bang here. So if you guys don't watch the whole show, definitely tune back in and catch the end of this, because we're going to tell you what happened to me and Sophie at Pine Lawn Manor, and it was just messed up. So you don't want to miss this.
Traumatizing.
Yeah. Something, it was bad. We'll get to that though. Number 2 is in our investigation list for 2021 was Pine Lawn Manor in Sumner, Illinois. Basically, our return to Pine Lawn. Well, actually, we went there and then we left for a while. But yeah, that was on January 28th of 2021 is when we hit Pine Lawn Manor again. In 2021. Our number 3 on our list was the Toledo American Legion, number 764 in Toledo, Illinois, on March 1st of 2021. Now, I don't know if you guys all remember that, but that was a pretty cool investigation. I believe Dickerson was there, Ben Irvin. We had quite a few people in that investigation. Kelsey Greentree, that was one of her first ones, I think, that she went on. But yeah, we had a lot of investigators there. A lot of cool stuff, the place is just really neat. That Legion, they were experiencing paranormal activity and called us in there. They were I believe there was a guy that died of a heart attack near the pool table. It's been a while since I've been there, so I hope that's not wrong. But we started experiencing some kind of strange stuff in a chair that one of these guys that had passed away, they've got their names over their chairs in the bar. So they, they used to visit the bar quite frequently. So they put little in memory plaques up above on their chairs up there. Well, we started getting some activity in a particular chair by saying a particular name in there. Like I say, I'm not going to name names on here because I like to respect the families and the people involved in all these cases. But we did get some strange EVP and ITC communication there at the Toledo Lodge in Toledo. So that was our number 3 on our list of places we done in 2021. Sorry, Soph, you're just probably back there like.
I'm just hanging out. I'm
Wait
just
till
here. I'm
December.
listening.
Yeah,
I'm probably gonna have to go tinkle here in a second, but
that's why.
I
Yeah.
should have done that before the show.
It's not that moon water again, is it?
Well, listen, all right. That little incident that we had at the beginning of the show, when both of our
Oh yeah,
at the
yeah,
same time.
yeah, guys. Listen to this. This is why we're late. We should have told that right at the beginning, but yeah, the reason why we were late coming on, me and Sophie were talking backstage here before I started the show live. Both of our computers went dead. My internet got completely knocked out, and yours went dead. But your
Mine
internet.
didn't even. The thing is, I'm on a computer right now. I'm on a computer. There's no charger. It's just like it's all plugged in. You know what I'm saying? It just went out.
Yeah.
Just went completely black. No, like nothing. Just went black.
I'm sorry. I'm reading Jay Brill, or I'm reading his comment. That's funny.
Jabril. That's my brother.
Yeah, no, that's why I was laughing.
He's like, Tinkle?
But yeah, we lost computers, guys. Like both of us at the same time. Like we got hit by some ghost virus. I told her, I mean, I'm not saying it's aliens, but I'm pretty sure it was aliens.
It's aliens.
It was aliens. I mean, both computers don't go down and my internet at the same time as we're starting to start the show. So like the spirits are trying to stop this show from happening. I don't know what's going on.
I was kind of wondering, like the skeptic side of me is kind of just like, oh, that's just a coincidence. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the skeptic side of me. You know what I'm saying? The other side, I'm just like, aliens.
Yeah. I don't know. It was like, I don't understand how it would have happened at the same time. I mean, that's like we got hit by a virus or something. Yeah, because my computer went out, yours went out. I mean,
well, I'm on a MacBook. I'm on like not a MacBook, but I'm on a Mac computer, and like I was told that they don't get viruses or anything. But
yeah, they don't get them as easily. I'm on a Windows operating system. I'm on a Windows-based computer, so yeah, I mean, that's weird. I mean, it's weird. We're on two different systems here, and we both went down. That's pretty weird.
I'm gonna go tinkle because that scared the tinkle out of me. My poor little bladder. I'm like,
all right.
My body's like this small already, and then that happened. I was like, oh.
All right, sounds good. Anyway, number 4. I'm gonna go on without her, guys. Number 4 is the Golconda Cemetery in Golconda, Illinois. And sorry, I'm reading off my list here, but that happened on April 10th of 2021. Now, if you guys remember our investigations down in southern Illinois, down the Shawnee National Forest area, we had Tammy Joe, one of our fans, there with us. She went with us on some of those. Really awesome time. It was like, I think it was near Tammy Joe's birthday time. And we kind of went down there and helped her celebrate that and investigate a few locations that she had found for us down in the southern Illinois area. And I think I'm pronouncing that right, down in Golconda, Illinois, Golconda City. And the cemetery there is extremely, extremely cool. It's surrounded by this big wall and just a weird feeling. I mean, a lot of pioneers buried there, a lot of the historical stuff in there in the Golconda Cemetery. We read off some of the stuff that had taken place there. If you guys go back and watch our number 4 episode, from the year 2021, that was the Golconda Cemetery. Really neat place. I'd like to go back there and actually investigate it some more. We didn't get a whole lot there, but I think we needed to spend some more time there. But that was number 4 on our list. I'm sorry, I'm just zooming through these because some of these we're going to talk about in detail. I'm reading some of these. Courtney Bowen says those tall grays. Yeah, I think that we're being attacked by the grays, Bowen. I don't know if you've seen that one come out of the screen at the beginning. Maybe I shouldn't have put that alien in my intro because definitely something going on. But greetings, I know the old Bridgeport drill in the intro. Did you see or hear or feel any activity there? Sorry, reading comments to you guys. From Azriz, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm sorry. Azrazel? The YouTube comment. You got any ideas on that, Sophie?
Azrazel?
Okay, yeah, that. Yeah, sorry, man. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but it says, greetings. I noticed the old Bridgeport jail in the intro. Did you guys see, hear, or feel anything? We're going to get to that actually in the show because we've got that on the list. So we'll let you know here. So definitely hang in there.
I actually used hand sanitizer, Jabril.
What's that?
He asked if I washed my hands, and I told him I actually used hand sanitizer.
That's funny. All right, number 5 on my list of places for 2021 was the Azotus Southern Missionary Baptist Church on April 10th of 2021, which was also part of our Southern Illinois investigations that we conducted, in Southern Illinois with Tammy Jo. When we went down there, we conducted those investigations, and that's the church she brought us to. If you guys remember, there was a little incident there, kind of funny, excuse me, but some people showed up to the church drunk, and we had one heck of a time trying to go live. We had to kill the live feed and come back on a couple times because we had some drunk people. I think they were more than drunk. I think they were kind of high and drunk, but they showed up to this church, and they were just extremely, extremely loud. If you guys remember that investigation, if you guys are big fans and watch all of our stuff. But we were inside this old church, and they were going nuts on the outside, so I had to shut the live feed down a couple times and start over. But really cool old church, and we still thank Tammy Jo for, showing us that location and inviting us down there for that weekend down in Southern Illinois in the Golconda, Shawnee National Forest kind of area down there. That was some really cool places that she took us to, even though we didn't get a whole lot of activity. It was just a pretty cool adventure. The next location I want to talk to you about is number 6 in 2021. You look like
I'm listening. I'm just like,
yeah.
I
sent you the list. Did I send you the list?
Okay.
The number 6 is the Dutch Lane Bridge. Now that location, guys, was in Effingham, Illinois. On April 17th of 2021, we conducted a live investigation. That place was pretty cool. Now, guy there that, over at the Effingham Brewery, Eric, he was telling me about that location, introduced me to that location when we went live on his show from the brewery. And we went over there. Sorry, I got a tickle in my throat. Should have got a water. I need some of your moon water. Thank you. But yeah, the Dutch Lane Bridge was an old German bridge that was brought over, I believe, from Germany and reconstructed over there in the Effingham, Illinois area. So our theory behind that too, could there have been something that happened at the bridge, prior to it being reconstructed and brought to the United States? So it's a really cool area there in Effingham, Illinois, near that Dutch Lane Bridge area. And it's a long road back there. If you guys watch that video, like I was in my Jeep. I mean, I was like, I had it in full drive, and I don't even know how I got back there, to tell you the truth. I was mudding. I was going up on like my side and like going around logs, and it was a heck of a trip to even get back there. So if you do plan on visiting Dutch Lane Bridge in Effingham, Illinois, I would walk. Prefer to walk like a couple mile back that lane because it was extremely, extremely hard to get a vehicle back there. And I couldn't get all the way back there. Like we had to stop and get out. And of course, Courtney fell down at least 5 or 6 times going by. It's all on video. That one was on video. I'm sorry, it's funny, but she was filming. I can't remember who was filming, but maybe she was filming, and like the whole camera just goes down. Like you see the camera flip flopping around, you see the trees and the sky, and like Courtney's on the ground. I went running. Like I thought we were gonna have to airlift her out of there again. Like I've just got evac on speed dial for her because like it doesn't matter where we go, she's following. But I think I told you guys about the time she fell down a hill over at like Hatchet Man Cabin. She got up, she had glasses on, she had sticks sticking out of her glasses. She looked like a deer when she got up. I seriously thought it was like a buck coming at me, like a 10-pointer. But it's pretty funny. Anyway, Bowen says, yeah, it was bad, even the Jeep. Oh, yeah, I think Bowen was with me on that one. I forgot about that. Yeah, Courtney's verifying the trip back to this Dutch Lane Bridge, but Bowen says Courtney took her out in Chicago. I remember that. We were at Bachelor's Grove Cemetery at the Swamp in Chicago, and Bowen was standing there, and Courtney like fell and like grabbed Bowen. I think it took her down with her, and they about fell into the swamp where everybody was like, where the ghosts are all at, and that's where all
Not
the dead
the
bodies.
swamp.
Yeah, not the swamp. That's where all the mafia bodies are supposedly hidden. That the mafia killed these people and threw them in this little lagoon there beside Bachelor's Grove Cemetery. And Courtney about went into the lagoon, courtesy of Courtney Mendenhall. The two Courtneys and the two Jasons were on that investigation. That was a fun time too. That was like 2020, I think. But
double trouble.
Yeah, that was a good time. But anyway, Dutch Lane Bridge was number 6. Number 7, we're getting into Ramsey Cemetery in Effingham, Illinois, which is also known as Casbar. We investigated that location on April 18th of 2021. It went live, had some really cool activity there. I'll tell you what, like there's a lot of like hoaxes about Ramsey Cemetery with the stories of the guy with the red eyes and the werewolf that supposedly hides in the cave. There beside the cemetery, there's like this creek, and we went up the creek and explored there at Ramsey Cemetery there in Effingham, which is also known as Casbar. We didn't find anything like in the creek or where there are some like rock overhangs. I don't call it a cave. It didn't go all the way back. I mean, it may be considered maybe a rock shelter or something back there, but the Ramsey Cemetery, they had a morning chapel on the site where a guy did commit suicide. And offhand, I cannot remember. I think it was in the 60s. I may be wrong on that. It had a little morning chapel on site. Yeah, and like a guy shot himself inside the morning chapel. Like a lot of these cemeteries back in the day, they would have these morning chapels when they'd have funerals, or you would come to visit your loved ones or something. You could go to these little, inside, like little, basically, buildings and kind of, I guess, reflect and everything. But this guy went in there, I guess, depressed and just shot himself. There's also rumor that a guy hung himself in the tree there at Casbar, Ramsey Cemetery. I mean, I found no documentation of that, but there supposedly was a hanging also there. So kind of an interesting place. And we do get a lot of stuff there. I mean, I legitimately think Ramsey Cemetery or Casbar is probably haunted. Not due to just the local lore and legend of people drinking and, going out there, which happens a lot out at Ramsey. It's also a local like party and hangout spot that Sophie's probably, you haven't been there?
I didn't party. I didn't do none of that.
No, you didn't do that kind of stuff.
I stayed at home like the good little church girl I am.
Yeah, I bet.
I've never done nothing in my entire life.
Yeah, I didn't figure you had. But yeah, there is a big party spot out there at Ramsey Cemetery. But one of the cool things we picked up there, and we went there a couple times in 2021. One of the things we picked up was an ITC session I remember doing, and it's on our page somewhere. I went live with it, but this guy said, "Oh my gosh, it's Jason." Came across the ghost box. Plain as day. I'll never forget that. I think we posted the video, but
it said, "Oh my God, it's Jason."
Yeah, like I turned the ghost box on, start recording, and talking to him, doing an ITC session at Ramsey or Casbar Cemetery, and yeah, it just came plain as day. It's like, oh my God, it's Jason.
You got a fan ghost.
I know, yeah.
Oh my God, it's Jason.
I know. You got like ghost boyfriends, and I got like, I don't know what they are, ghost stalkers. I don't know.
I got like 12 ghost boyfriends now.
I know. It's a pretty cool place though, and like I really like it. A lot of people go out there still, but like I say, when it comes to Ramsey, get permission. We called the local sheriff's department before we went out there, and they said it was okay to go. because Ramsey is a big place where a lot of people get mad if you go there. We had family members come with us one time even. They came with us to the Ramsey Cemetery at Casbar. They seen where we were going to go, so we had a bunch of family members out there and wanted to communicate with their loved ones, which was really cool. So definitely get permission, though, if you guys go to Ramsey Cemetery. It's off limits at night. Do not go there or trespass. Any of these locations, please do not trespass or go to, without permission. So, okay, next location. And I think Ramsey Cemetery, every time we do that place, we get massive amounts of viewers. People love that place. I don't even know. I think we got 30,000 on one of our Ramsey videos. Huh?
Where's Ramsey?
It's over by Effingham. Yeah, it's in Effingham County. You basically go to Effingham and go back north a little, if I remember right here. Get my directions straight. But yeah, it's out in the country, kind of back a lane. I'll have to show it to you sometime. I don't think you've ever been there yet. But yeah, we got a lot of views on that one. Number 8. Now this one went crazy viral too, and I don't know why. Number 8 on our list that we done for 2021 was a house that we called the Johnsonville House. If you guys go back and watch that, you'll see that it was just an old looking house. Actually, one of the houses in my intro video is the Johnsonville House because it is creepy. It is your typical looking haunted house. I was contacted by this family that said they had a lot of activity going on in there, and they thought several people passed away in the house over the years. There had been a suicide there, I believe, and then the house trailer beside it, there had been a death also. So there was a house trailer that they were using for storage that they were living in that somebody died in right on the same property. So we were basically investigating this old, creepy looking haunted house and a house trailer where they had been reporting paranormal activity. But mostly from this family's loved ones, they thought, but it goes back deeper than that as far as the deaths and suicides there. So they traced back, several people had died in this house. And I'm telling you what, this was in Johnsonville, Illinois, and this was on April 23rd, 2021. I have never seen a location where we were so welcomed before in my life. People were coming off the streets. People were driving up there to meet us and talk to us and give us information. And it had over 16,000 views, I think, that night. Just went viral, and people that was one of our videos that just went crazy for some reason in 2021. But just the amount of people, I think, in the area that were interested in what we were doing was really cool, and older people, guys. This one guy was kind of cool. He was probably at least in his 80s. He came and talked to me and was telling me stories about all the stuff that had happened. And I mean, it's cool to get people with a wide variety of ages, interested in paranormal research. So that's why we like to do this stuff too, meet these people. But that was a really cool night there at Johnsonville at the old house there. All right, I'm moving on. You live over there?
I'm just vibing. Yeah. I have a real quick. Well, What is it? It's called the Salesman House.
Yeah.
My uncle brought up something called the Salesman House that was somewhere around Bridgeport or something. Apparently it was haunted and people used to go there all the time. So if anybody knows anything about what's called the Salesman House, please let me know what that is, because so far it's just vague. All I know is that it's haunted and the people used to go there as my uncle was growing up. So
reading comments. That's cool though. Yeah, we'll maybe check it out. I'm trying to read their comments. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We'll definitely try to look into that. I've never heard of that. That's interesting. I like hearing stuff I've never heard of.
It's right over here.
It's right over there.
Yeah, it's in my house. The Salesman House is in my house.
What's going on, guys?
Yeah, it's called the Salesman House. I remember as he was talking, I wrote it down on a piece of napkin. I was like,
I got you. I didn't know how it was in your house. Yeah, we'll look into that. Remind me. Send me a message about that so I can look into it.
I don't know why I didn't bring it up to you until before the live. I just thought about that because I heard the word house and I was like, the Salesman House.
Yeah, that's cool. We'll definitely check into All right, number 9 was our first investigation of United Methodist Village in Lawrenceville, Illinois, and that was on. Let me get my date here. That was on. I don't know if that's right. It says May 1st. Yeah, I guess that would be right. May 1st, 2021 is what I've got wrote down for that one. So that was number 1 investigation. The UMV, United Methodist Village in Lawrenceville on March the 1st. That was a pretty good investigation also that we conducted. It went pretty big. A lot of people were interested in that place. A lot of people worked at that location, just like, they worked at Pine Lawn Manor back in the day. A lot of people in the Lawrence County area were familiar with it, told us a lot of stories, and we appreciate the viewers and everybody that watched and helped us with all the information, at our location, especially, United Methodist Village, Pine Lawn, any location that's local here. You guys are like awesome with giving us information and history. I mean, that's why I like to do this and go live too. Without you guys, we couldn't have half the history that we find out about these places, half the stories, and it's just really cool. But we didn't have a whole lot happen there on investigation number 1. I actually thought, man, this place is like sucks. But to be nicely, but I was like, I think we debunked the nothing's going on at the United Methodist Village on investigation 1. I mean, nothing was happening, so it was like there was no paranormal activity. What?
Damn, this place sucks.
I was trying to put it nicely, but we didn't think anything was going to happen, but. And that just goes to show you, you keep investigating a location, you keep going back, stuff doesn't happen on the first time sometimes. So we went back. Actually, investigation number 10 is United Methodist Village Part 2. And that was on March the 14th of 2021. And I think it was up into like investigation 3 or 4 when we finally started experiencing a little bit of activity there. And it started with motion alarms and door alarms going off inside the building, which we couldn't explain. Now, there were sensors that were put around some of the patient's arms that we found inside the building. And for some odd reason, the doors were being tripped by these sensors that weren't passing through the door. And we could only find like one of them to even test it that was still worked, So we definitely, tried to debunk everything that we recorded in there or found that night, but we had sensors going off everywhere. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself because I'll talk about that here in number 16. But
like that's what I was about to say, Becky, is I think they want to trust you before they start doing anything. And same thing when we get to Pine Lawn later. I have a story about that I'll talk about later. About trusting you before anything else.
Yeah, for sure. Yep, I think that's a big key point, definitely. So yeah, we'll talk about that. Don't forget, we'll bring that up. So yeah, number 11 on our list of locations we investigated in 2021 and went live at was Highland Lawn Cemetery in Terre Haute, Indiana on July 17th, 2021. And that was a good investigation, guys. I mean, that place is awesome. That cemetery, I speak very highly of that cemetery, the Highland Lawn Cemetery there in Terre Haute, because a lot of like legends and lore in the cemetery. There's a story of Stiffy Green. There's the story of the one who had the telephone installed in his mausoleum. Gosh, I'm brain dead about what his name was. I think it was Martin Sheets was his name. My memory serves there. Anyway, yeah, there's a lot of stories involving the Highland Lawn Cemetery in Terre Haute, Indiana. If you guys go back and watch that one, and that was like our number 11 live we done in 2021. A lot of cool stuff. It was pretty cool. We were filming live, and the snake crawled up one of the mausoleums, like as I was filming, and like it's like starts slithering around the pillars, and like I'm trying to record, and like I get right up in the snake's face. It's like pretty cool because it like kind of strikes at the camera, and it was a pretty cool investigation. But the reason we went there was because there's also an unsolved murder. There's a lady buried in the back part of the cemetery. We were trying to get information regarding that as well through ITC sessions and EVP sessions to see if we could come up with a name, a date, or any type of information that could help law enforcement with identifying who murdered this lady, because it was an unidentified murder. And another reason that drew me to Island Lawn Cemetery during the same week is previous to that, about a week before we were there, a guy was found dead in the pond out there in the Highland Lawn Cemetery there in Terre Haute, Indiana. He was found passed away in the pond. There was some information finally released after we went live a couple months about who he was and what was going on and all that. And I think they've figured it all out now. But we were trying to get information regarding that incident too, to see if we could pick up any EVP activity with names or dates or what happened. And we've done that a lot, to try to even help local law enforcement to try to come up with things. Sometimes they don't believe that. Obviously it won't hold up in court and all that. But hey, anything to help to try to solve some of these unsolved murders and crimes that have taken place in the area. It's kind of cool because it's almost like we're paranormal detectives sometimes, and we're trying to like solve these cases and figure out what's going on. So,
I see it doesn't hurt to try.
What's that?
I see it doesn't hurt to try.
Yeah, for sure. See where we're at, but that was a really interesting location that I do want to go back to because it's so big. We didn't hit the whole area, so we definitely need to go back there when it warms up.
Here's another theory that's not really paranormal, but what if you gave somebody information that you heard over an EVP, the law enforcement and everything, you gave them information that you heard over the EVP and they find a body or they find clues and they're just like, you're now a suspect.
Yeah, I never thought of that. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, now you got me scared.
You'd be like, little me?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. That could put us on the suspect list if we start giving them information that nobody else knows. I mean, I got this information from a ghost. It probably won't go over well. But yeah, that's a good point. Never thought of that.
Thank you, Omni, by the way, for the address.
Oh, they gave you an ad. Oh.
The salesman. Or what could be the salesman, I don't know. But it's just a house from Bridgeport that has had some creepy activity.
Yeah, we'll have to check that out. Mm-hmm. Number 12 on our list. Sorry. Are you good? Mm-hmm. Okay, I didn't know if you had anything else to say. I'll go on. Number 12 is New Harmony, Indiana trip that would have been August the 7th of 2021. We went to New Harmony, Indiana, and investigated sites all around New Harmony, Indiana, which was really cool. I mean, just a really cool place. Backstory behind the location. It was a harmonious society, and they made several attempts at trying to make it this harmonious, society that failed, several times. And there's still a lot of evidence, of those attempts that were made. New Harmony is this weird place when you go into it. I mean, I don't know how to describe it, but it's got this unusual feel about it. The whole location does, and that's what kind of drew me in there too. But we started out investigating the Harmonious Cemetery there in New Harmony. Again, that was on August 7th of 2021. And me and Ed Reese and, I think it was Courtney. There were just a few of us went on that one. But we went into the old cemetery, and there's not a lot of graves in the old cemetery. There's a little cemetery out front, which has some graves. And then the main part of the cemetery is kind of flat and open. And it's almost like burial grounds, like Indian mounds inside the cemetery, it looks like. And it could have been, there could have been Native Americans buried there previous to them being buried there. But the New Harmony area was just pretty interesting. Probably go back sometime. We also investigated number 13 there in New Harmony, Indiana, was the Harmonious Labyrinth. And that was on August 7th of 2021 too. And if you guys watch that episode or that live feed, it's a big labyrinth, and people go there to meditate. They walk it, to clear their mind, to, just go out there and they just walk and see if anything happens. Some people have encountered or told that they've had spiritual or like spiritual enlightenment type encounters, or even encounters with ghosts or spirits while they're walking the labyrinth. We didn't have anything like that happen, but we got some crazy ITC ghost box communication from that labyrinth. I don't know if it was the energy, if there's a vortex of energy there at the labyrinth, but just awesome communication there. So I highly recommend, if you got a ghost box or even want to do some EVP recordings, with a recorder, take a digital recorder out to that Harmonious labyrinth, try to record stuff. I asked them where they were at, and the cemetery is about a block away from this labyrinth, or if the way the crow flies, pretty much a straight shot. And I said, "Where are you at right now?" And he goes, "A block over," and that's the cemetery. So that was pretty interesting when we got, and it also told me that they were involved in a cult, which I could see back in the day of New Harmony when it was getting started and originated. Some of the people might have thought it was a cult like thing going on. They said I was involved in a cult. Came across there extremely clear. Just a lot of interesting, intelligent communication in New Harmony, Indiana. So definitely a place we want to go back to. Another location we investigated there on August the 7th of 2021 was Maple Hill Cemetery. That was the evening of August 7th, 2021. That was a cool investigation. This cemetery goes up this big hill with steps, and it's just a neat place. I mean, just a huge cemetery that looks like a big mountain, basically, that you're climbing up. And it was cool because we got up there, and I was going to call this individual ahead of time. She wrote some books on New Harmony, Indiana, and does some New Harmony ghost walks. But her name is Joni Mahan. And we were up there, and she happened to come up there while we were investigating, seen our lights, and came up there in her golf cart. And she had this little ghost, like this little toy ghost thing on her golf cart. Like when she came up, it was kind of funny because we didn't know who was approaching us, and we're like freaking out. I'm getting on standby here because I think we're being attacked. And here Joni comes with her ghost, like waving in her golf cart. And I start laughing. And but yeah, me and Joni talked for a while there, and about some of the hauntings there in New Harmony. And I think I even had her on the show after that as a guest. I had her on one of my talk shows as a guest on my show. So definitely check out her books, guys. It's Joni Mahan, and she runs the New Harmony, Indiana Haunted Tours, and she's wrote several books. So check that out, guys. Number 15 on our place in New Harmony was The Next Day on August 8th, 2021. Well, actually, that may have been into the next morning. But it was called Edmund Cemetery. Now, that's back in the park. It's a state park there around New Harmony. You have to go into the park area and go back a lane. It's almost like going to Step Cemetery, if anybody's ever been over there to Morgan Monroe State Park over in Indiana. This is what it reminds me of. This place was way back in the woods. We hiked back there. Me and Courtney hiked back this long lane. It was just me and her because everybody else had gave up and went back to the cabins and was sleeping. And I just keep pushing on. I want to keep checking things out. So, me, I'm up till, early morning hours into the next noon the next day. And then I'm crashing and dead for 2 days. But yeah, it was the Edmund Cemetery. We got back there. Once we hiked back this lane, I think there was a grave back there, and her name was Sarah. We instantly got Sarah over the paratic and the ghost box. So we had two intelligent communications regarding the name that was on the tombstone back there, telling us, who that was, which was pretty interesting. And we heard like voices on the way out. We hiked out. We started hearing like voices in the woods on the way out. Well, come to find out, a lot of people have reported that. We didn't know it. Like people report hearing voices in that woods as they're coming out of there. And that's something we didn't know about until we experienced it. So that was a pretty interesting place. You awake?
Yeah.
Sophie comes in the story sometime in December.
Sometime late in 2021.
Yeah, late in 2021.
I decided to go to New York City. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
I remember I found you guys by I watched that documentary on Elizabeth Betsy Reed. And that's when I was just like, hey, I recognize him.
Oh, yeah.
I was I had him on Facebook once and I created a whole new Facebook. I need to add him back. Because I remember I think I saw something. You messaged me also a couple years ago about a tour.
Yeah.
And then I remember I was just like, okay, this guy's in my brain. I know who this is. And then I saw the documentary. I was like, I know him.
Yeah.
Somewhat vaguely familiar internet friend. And so that's when I added you back. And then you were just like, hey, you should come on a tour with us still. And I was just like, maybe. I don't know. And then
Yeah.
it was literally just a month and a half ago. I just gotten back from Evansville and you messaged me and you're like, "Hey, we're gonna be in Lawrenceville, United Methodist. Like, you wanna come?" I was like, "Sure, why not?"
Yeah.
And since
Now
then,
you're
I've
hooked.
been hooked.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff. When did you say what month was it you went to New
It was
York?
about
When?
November.
Was it no?
It
Was
was
it
November,
November?
November,
Yeah.
late November.
God, I can't remember. I'll have to look at my thing here to see what we were even doing then. But we did a lot. We did a lot in December.
You guys had just gotten back from Waverly, I remember.
Probably.
You
Yeah.
guys just got back from Waverly Hills. You guys had just
Yep. That's right. Yeah. You're right.
Mhm.
Let me see. Okay, so that ended the New Harmony trip. Sorry, guys, I know it's long winded tonight. We're kind of just recapping 2021, all the cool things that's happened, and we're gonna talk about some of the drama and some of the stuff that happened. See you later on, so it's gonna get a little bit interesting. But then on our 16th investigation, 2021 was Friday the 13th, the Methodist Village number 3. Now that's when we started experiencing those alarms going off at the Methodist Village. It's Friday the 13th. Nothing had happened previous to that. And all of a sudden, stuff starts just going haywire. The alarm systems are going off by themselves. So I put a recorder down, like a static recorder. Actually, it was a live feed. I put it down on the counter and was filming the door and actually caught the alarm system going off on live feed with nobody coming through the door. So I mean, we've got proof. Nobody was in or out of that door when that alarm system went off, and there's no other way to activate it other than like one of those bracelet things going through the door. So that was some pretty good evidence we captured there at the United Methodist Village on Friday the 13th. That's when that place started to come alive. Like I said, I was not a big fan of the United Methodist Village until like later investigations stuff started happening. So I was like, this place is a dud. There's like nothing going on here. So
Not a dud.
not a dud.
Not a dud.
Okay. All right, that's that paper. I'm throwing papers here behind
Now
me.
the next paper.
Yeah, on to the next. We got a lot to go through. This may be like a 4-hour show, guys. I need to talk quicker. Number 17 was also United Methodist Village number 4 on August the 14th. We investigated that place several times. We've done it probably, I don't even know now, probably over 30, I would say, wouldn't you?
I've been at least like 7 times.
That's what I was going to say. You've been at least 7. So I'd say we've investigated about 30 times now. So 18 was our September 17th and 18th haunted tours. We didn't go live on that, but I do want to talk about that. We started our haunted tour season a little early this year in September. Got a lot of stuff going on. We had a lot of stuff going on from the United Methodist Village to the lodge, the Masonic Lodge. We done some haunted tours on the 17th and 18th and the 24th and 25th of September. So we started our haunted tour season pretty early this year. Number 19 was the Edward Dobbins Masonic Lodge number 164 in Lawrenceville, Illinois, the haunted overnight public paranormal investigation there. And that was held on October 1st of 2021. So we did a haunted overnight there at the Edward Dobbins Masonic Lodge. And a lot of this stuff you guys didn't get to see because we didn't go live with our haunted tours this year. And I posted a big post as to why we don't, go live. Sorry, I'm reading comments. At some of these locations, while we're doing the haunted tours, because we want everybody to have a good time. We want people to experience activity, so that's why we go silent at some of these locations during our tour season. We just want everybody to be able to experience, anything that might happen without lights in their face and the fear of being filmed and all that. So that's why we do not do any lives during most of our haunted tours. Then we have our Crawford County haunted tours we done on October the 8th. We done our local annual haunted Crawford County tours where we did a tour of Crawford County. Kind of some cool activity happened there at Betsy Reed's. I think we ended up at Elizabeth Betsy Reed's that night at Baker Cemetery. That's usually our last stop on our Crawford County haunted tours. And I believe that was the night we captured he drank the tea on the ghost box. That was pretty weird. I said, is there anything you'd like to tell us about Leonard? And it said he drank the tea. which is kind of contradicting the innocent thing we got, but like that still doesn't mean anything. But it definitely said tea cross on an ITC session, like he drank the tea, which is very weird. But I still believe she's innocent. I mean, she's come back from beyond the grave and told us like 3 different times on EVP, electronic voice phenomena through digital recorders, that she's innocent. So that was our last stop, on our haunted tours. We go all over the place on our haunted tours at Crawford County. When we go to the Bel Air Cemetery, we go to the old Bel Air Schoolhouse. Are you frozen? You there? I think Sophie's frozen out there, guys. Can you hear me, Sophie? Can you guys hear me? I don't know. If you guys can hear me, definitely give a thumbs up, or tell me can somebody tell me on the chat? Oh, wow. She's popped in a second time. That's odd. Let me get her back in here, guys. Sorry about that.
My computer went
Sophie,
out again.
You have got a ghost. You're live in another box in my queue box. That's weird. Some weird stuff going on, guys, tonight. But she went off the air, and came back live, and then there was a double box, and I threw her up there, and there was another Sophie moving down here in another box. That was strange.
I don't know what is happening anymore.
You had like a doppelganger. I don't know what's going on here. But something strange is happening. You may want to get
I just decided I'm just done with the computer. I'm on my iPad now.
Oh, you switched?
Yeah, I switched. I was like, I'm not doing this again. Nope.
The color actually looks better on that, on this, whatever you're on now. All right. So, we have our haunted tours every year, guys. Definitely check those out. We'll be doing them again next October. And we do private tours all through the year. If you guys want to take a haunted tour of Crawford County or something, get a hold of us by private message. We'll do those all throughout the year. If you got a birthday party, you want to take your friends out or something, get a hold of us. We do that stuff all the time. We take, private groups out, people, regularly.
We love to do it. We love it.
Yes. Yeah. We like to meet you guys and interact with you guys. It's fun. So definitely get a hold of us, if you want us to take you on some type of tour.
I'm the tour guide.
Yeah, we got a new tour guide this year, Sophie. We'll see.
Me in person. I'm just as goofy. I'm just as awkward.
Yeah. That's funny. We got one person going out. No, I'm just kidding. Gosh, I lost my place. Okay, 21, Haunted Scavenger Hunt. That was in Lawrence County, Illinois this year. We did the Haunted Scavenger Hunt on October the 9th, 2021, and it went all over Lawrence County with our Haunted Scavenger Hunt. Now, last year, that was a Crawford County event. This was the first year we've changed it to Lawrence County. It'll probably be back in Crawford County again next year. So that was pretty fun, though. Then we have, let me see here. Number 22, we went live at a secluded cemetery in Coles County on October 19th, 2021. Now, me and Courtney hiked back to the cemetery. I don't know if you guys remember this, but it was through the woods. It was a pretty good hike, and we were up on this big bridge. And there was the sun was set, and I was just kind of exploring it because there have been reports of activity there, but nothing confirmed. I've still not given out the location of where this is at. But I want to go back and do a live there and do a full-scale investigation because I do believe there might be some stuff going on there. But if you guys remember that, I looked like Rambo. I was in a camo coat, a backpack, and like I normally am when I'm hiking. And we went live back there just to show you guys kind of what it looked like. We was up on this big ridge. If any of you guys seen that or remember that. But that was a secluded cemetery. That was number 22. Number 23 was the Return to Pylon Manor. Now that we hadn't been to Pylon for a while. We returned to Pylon Manor in October, which was cool. Started experiencing some things, like little things where we knew that maybe it was going to pick up an activity again because it was dead silent. We weren't able to get in there a little bit over the summer just because of some issues with the neighbor, and somebody thought they were going to fix the place up into a house. That didn't work out too well for them, I don't think, because they probably got marbled every night. But I'm telling you, you don't want to turn Pylon Manor into a home.
You don't want to turn Pylon Manor into a house.
Yeah, definitely not. I don't think it went well for them.
It would
Um,
not. It absolutely would not. Do you know how many mad ghosts there be?
yeah. And like, I was talking to this guy on one of our tours this year at Pine Lawn, and I'm still finding out deaths and strange things that's happened at that location because he was telling me that one of his buddies tried to do that. He moved in there for a while after it shut down in 2005. I had to get my dates straight here, and he tried to turn it into a little apartment area in Hall 3 or Group 3 hallway, and this was one of his friends or relation to him or something, and he ended up having a heart attack and dying in the process of that in the building. And I didn't know that. That was after 2005. This guy tried to convert it into an apartment. We had another death after the actual nursing home. So it's like, what has happened in that place? What has happened that we don't even know about? I'm still finding out strange things. So this guy, after it was a nursing home, trying to turn it into something, and what caused him to have a heart attack? That's the thing too. Did he see something that freaked him out? Like me and Sophie are going to tell you here later on in the show when we get to the end of this thing. I'm trying to hurry through this list. Stuff has changed at Pine Lawn. It's getting weird. So we're going to get into that. So don't leave, guys. And if you leave, definitely check out the replay of this talk show, and so you guys can hear, what happened to me and Sophie the other night, because it's messed up. But yeah, 24, we returned to the village again, United Methodist Village. I may have got off track there. Yeah, I think that was right. On October 22nd, October 23rd, we had a Pine Lawn Manor haunted public tour there in Sumner, Illinois. Again, open to the public. We had a lot of people there. The marbles started flying again, guys. Like in October, it's on a cycle. In the summer, it's dead, or like in like September, October, November. I mean, it is just on this cycle of all hell breaks loose in Pine Lawn Manor, especially the marbles. And we got over like 80 marbles thrown at us in one night. These four people, it was kind of like going around them, like centering around them again. And like, I can't explain this stuff, guys. Like, I took these people, and I think I told this on a talk show, closer to that time period. I took these four ladies into a room and did basically everything possible, but totally strip search them. I mean, because like people were saying, oh, they're throwing this stuff or they're doing it because it's centering around them. And I knew they weren't. They were there the year before, and I'd checked them out and watched them, and like, it was centering around them. Well, all these ladies work at places for the mentally disabled. And I think that's why the spirits and ghosts of Pine Lawn Manor are drawn to these, four individuals, as they all work at a place, similar to that. So, like they're just, I think, telling them thank you, sort of. They're throwing them coins, they're throwing them marbles. They know that, they respect them. And I think that's why they get so much activity, or we get so much activity when they're around. But I searched them. They didn't have marbles on them. They didn't have anything on them. They couldn't, there's nowhere they could have been putting this stuff, as many objects that were thrown. There's just no way these ladies were doing it. I was watching them. I mean, I'm pretty observant of people. I've caught people faking stuff. And they were not doing it. This stuff was coming out of nowhere, coming out of directions that they weren't even at. So, I mean, so the Pine Lawn activity started to pick up again around, the 23rd of October. We got investigation number 26 was a public, another investigation at Pine Lawn Manor, it says, 10/29 2021. Our number 28 investigation, or 27, I'm sorry. 27, we had the costume party, public paranormal investigation there on a Halloween night, basically the 30th into Halloween. We had a costume party and public paranormal investigation at the United Methodist Village. Had a pretty good time at that. And people, we had a DJ, and people came in costume. We had a costume contest. We had some crazy games for that. And you would have liked this one, Sophie. Maybe. Well, you probably wouldn't have liked this, but I played a body bag game. I brought some body bags with me, like real body bags that were sealed. And I put the body bags in the morgue, the Otten Center, different locations around Pine Lawn. And basically, you had to see who could outlast each other for one of the games in these body bags in like the most haunted places in the United Methodist Village, like the morgue and the Otten Center. And Jason, one of the guys that goes on a lot of our tours, he won the contest, and he's got free tours for the rest of the year, I told him, and all that. So he won the body bag contest. It's pretty cool, but I don't know if you'd like that or not. You want to get in a body bag?
I would get freaked out.
I figured you would.
I wouldn't last like 30 seconds. I would be like, in a body bag out of all things, like inside, like so vulnerable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. I didn't figure you would, but so yeah, 29 was Pine. Okay, this is where it starts to get good to you guys. Episode number 29 again was Pine Lawn Manor in Sumner, Illinois. Now I've got to explain what happened. See, we were there on um, the 31st. Let me think about how this happened. The 31st, we went there the night of the 31st because we were at the Methodist Village on the 30th into the night of the 31st. Well, the night of the 31st, we went, or the morning of the 31st, sorry, the night of the 31st, we went to Pine Lawn Manor. This gets confusing because we were like out every night, like during Halloween. Like, I mean, it gets confusing even trying to keep track of it. But so on the night of October 31st, 2021, at Pine Lawn Manor, marbles started flying, and I think it was just me and Jareth there. And no, it wasn't. It was just me. It was me, Jareth, Isabella Weston, and three other guys. That's who was there. And we started walking down the hallway, and we go into the hallway, and we find over the bathtub, "Help me," written in blood. Now, yeah, this is October 31st, the night of. So we're sitting there, and like, I didn't want to tell anybody. I thought somebody had snuck in the building. I thought it was bull, like I thought, somebody's playing a prank on us. I didn't see it happen, uh, and I thought it was fake, and I still can't verify that wasn't fake, but I can verify the next part was not fake. But we come into the next day, we go back, or the next night, which would have been, let me look at my um, thing here. Okay, yeah, that would have been November 1st into November 2nd, which again is All Souls Day or All Saints Day. And, I did a big show on Halloween and the history of Halloween and the importance of those dates. That's why we go on Halloween. That's why we go on November 1st into November 2nd. We started out at the United Methodist Village, and all of a sudden I get a call. Jared tells me to get to Pine Lawn Manor. He comes over there, and he's freaked out. He goes in there, and he was going to take this doll out of this room. He went in there, and blood started appearing all over the place, where he was walking down the floors, on the windows. He had set this doll down on a chair, and blood started appearing on the chair. I don't believe him. I'm flying over there. I mean, we haul butt over there, get there. And when I walk in the entrance, I walked in, and I'm sitting there talking to him about it. I look over, and blood started coming out of the wall right in front of my face. And that is the one where we have now figured out has spelled Ivan. Now, originally, we didn't know what that said, guys. Like, I thought it said "Why run" or "Why you." There was a lot of people, a lot of explanations as to what we thought that was saying, and come to find out, a couple people were messaging the guy that lives next door, which is Ivan, telling him that they thought it spelled Ivan. And he came over there with me one night, and he goes, "Yeah, this spells my name." And I looked at it, and it just dawned on me. It definitely spelled his name. I mean, it spells Ivan in blood. And that is definitely what it spells. We have figured out what it was. Now, I'm not really going to go into the big history of Ivan and stuff on the show, but that there's significance to that. It's just weird that it spelled out his name. He claims I questioned him up one side down the other. He was at a bar and only when this happened. Of course, I seen it appear anyway, and he thinks somebody just came in to scare him and wrote it on there. But I seen this appear, and like there's just this blood appeared, and then the blood appeared in the chair where Jareth had set the doll, which we cannot debunk either. I mean, just I'm still, I guess, tormented over that because I watched this happen, guys. Like I almost quit. I'm not joking. I almost quit, and like
that was something you told me about. You're like, I almost quit. When you started telling me about Pine Lawn, you're like, the only time I ever thought about quitting paranormal investigating was Pine Lawn.
Yeah. I mean, it tormented me a little. I mean, when you see blood come out of a wall, in front of your face, and it materialized. It didn't just like it came out like all at once. It wasn't like somebody writing it. It was like just comes out of the wall at once and spells this out. Like it was just the weirdest thing I've ever seen. And I can't explain it still. You know, it still gets me every time like I talk about it. So it's like I don't know that's when pylons started to get weird. Like it started almost changing vibes, I guess you could say, changing energy or feeling. I mean, we go from marbles to blood. Why? You know, what's the change and what happened to from one extreme to the next here? Do we get people throwing good old marbles at us and now the walls are bleeding?
Well, there's also what happened to us once again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're gonna get to that, guys. So I'm gonna talk fast so we can get to me and Sophie's story the other night, and that's about my second time we're gonna talk about. I've questioned quitting, so um, but yeah, we'll talk about that here in a second. Number 30, Waverly Hills Sanatorium in Louisville, Kentucky. Investigation we done. I'll tell you what, guys. When I did my talk show after that, I mean, we tore that place up because, like, I was not impressed. They said it's the most haunted place in the United States. Like, I mean, I've been all over the United States, investigated as many places as I can. I thought that's one place I'd not been yet, so I went. Was not impressed. The guide totally did not impress me. He was trying to make things into stuff that was paranormal that wasn't. We debunked everything he was saying. He was saying the noises outside were paranormal and it was cars leaving in the driveway. May have caught somebody faking stuff in one of the areas where they have a haunted house. There was a security guard outside, and they wouldn't let us outside. They locked us in and would not let us outside the building to try to debunk anything. They wouldn't let me go outside to see what it was. And they said, once we're in there, and we can't leave. I've never been locked in a building like that to where I can't go outside to try to debunk a sound I've heard. And I've investigated places all over the United States, and they just wouldn't let us. We heard a noise that I have suspicion of that might have been faked by the staff. There's also Cat 5 cable running all through the building that some of it I couldn't find an explanation for. Some of it went to speakers going to their haunted house area because they use it as a haunted house too for part of the year, which I don't like. That puts it in the Ashmore Estates category for me. Like, it's not a complete hoax, but there's a possibility for fakery there because there's speakers running through the building. There's Cat 5 cable running through the building. You can make sounds, but a lot of the sounds that people hear, I believe, in Waverly Hills Sanatorium is due to the wind. This place is up on a hill, and the building itself was designed back in the day as a tuberculosis hospital to bring in sunlight and air for tuberculosis patients, or back then was known as consumption. You know, they were basically dying of TB in high rates. So they were building hospitals and trying to, heal these people in any way they could. So, the Waverly Hills Sanatorium has a long history of deaths in there. So I don't doubt that there's a few ghosts in there or some type of haunting taking place, but maybe not the most haunted place in the world. But a lot of the stuff can be debunked because of the old building effect, which I've talked about on shows. But it sucks in air. There's doors and drafts in there that will close by themselves and slam shut. We debunked like a lot of doors slamming shut in there from air currents coming in through the building. It was absolutely air currents causing all the doors shutting and slamming throughout the building. So, I mean, and a lot of people freak out and, oh my God, it's haunted because you hear a door shut. But yeah, like Becky said, she was there. The wind sounded like screaming and crying the whole night. The wind effect in there can make you think the place is haunted. The place is alive just because of the way it's built. The wind and the architecture and the design of the building itself. It's almost like the building itself has a mind of its own. But Ricky Armour, he says, Pine Lawn scares the hell out of me. Yeah, Ricky's one of my friends, guys. He's been a long-time friend of mine, and him and one of my other buddies, Brett, they went one night because they were kind of skeptical, and they got a letter thrown at them, and I think it was like maybe it was a number, maybe it was 9 or something. Maybe Ricky can tell you. He probably remembers better on the chat there, but it dropped it right in front of him, and it was a number that was in his fire number, I believe, because he said, "Give me a sign that he's on fire department." It kind of dropped a number that was in his fire number, which was kind of weird. It was one of the letters off of the desk up there that we had set there. So he saw some marbles fly too in there, kind of 605, yeah. So, what number did they drop, Ricky? Do you remember? Or was it a letter? Oh,
605.
yeah. Yeah, he said 605. But, yeah, like that's what I like to take people in there and show them because, like, even him, he was skeptical. He said, "Oh, nothing there, nothing gonna scare me." And then, they got that. Yeah, it was a number 5 they dropped in front of him. Like they took that letter clear across from the building, materialized it in front of his face, and dropped it on the floor in the hallway, like in Pine Lawn. Like we were in Hall 3, and those letters are over and numbers are over in the doorway entrance going right on the other side of the building. And it actually dropped one of those letters in front of him. So it's like, that's the thing, guys. We talk about this Pine Lawn stuff, and it's not just us experiencing it. There's been hundreds of people experience this now. There's been 30 people in my tours a night experience marbles flying out of the every direction possible that's impossible. I mean, coming from walls and entrances and stuff where it's just impossible for it to happen. But anyway, Pine Lawn Manor and the Blood, that one about got me. Waverly Hills 31 was our Ghostbusters movie. They debuted Ghostbusters at the local theater in Robinson. We did a meet and greet there. We did a little live there with Becky and talked about that. But we did a meet and greet at the local theater there, the Eagle Theater in Robinson, Illinois, on November the 19th for the premiere of Ghostbusters Afterlife. That was pretty cool. Met a lot of the fans. They came out and talked with us. So that was an interesting time. Number 32 is the now. Okay, now you can, Sophie, you come into the picture here. Getting into December, the old City Hall and Jail in Bridgeport, Illinois. Now we had some people talk about that earlier, wanting to know about what happened there. If we experienced anything at the old jail. And again, that was the old City Hall and Jail. It was on December the 4th, 2021. I know you'd been to the Methodist Village with me before that, but this was basically your
Sorry, I
first.
think I know the route to my electricity now.
What happened?
So, like, I don't know. I have like a power socket over here.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, when I hit it, for some reason, the electricity from the power socket hits my lights. And like, I think I don't know, maybe hitting my power socket is what made my computer go out.
Oh.
I don't know what's happening
How'd mine go out?
I don't know what's happening anymore. All I know is this is a fire hazard and I should stop and unplug it. So that's what I did. Anyways, as you were saying.
So you're good over there?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. Somebody, I don't know what's going on, but my phone's going nuts. But anyway, we're at okay, so Old City Hall and Jail, that was your basically first live investigation you conducted with this. So
yes.
Why don't you tell them about that? I mean, what do you think about it?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I think there's more residual than intelligent there. I do believe we had an EVP of a woman crying. I don't think it was the wind. I don't think it was anything else. I do believe that it was a woman crying, and that was actually up in the courtroom. So the courtroom is allegedly where the most haunted spot in that place is. There was like a corner of the courtroom that was standing out to me a little bit, but that's about it. I thought it was pretty decent. It was actually my most emotional investigation, only because I heard that woman crying, and I don't know, there was a lot of weird hints that maybe like children were involved in like getting hurt and stuff, and due to like, the ghost box saying something about kids and just different not so nice things. Other than that, I mean, that was my first real investigation, so it was still pretty spooky for me, but now that I've done a whole bunch and I've been faced with Pine Lawn, it's kind of just like, it was okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there may be something there, like I say, because we got intelligent communication. Hey, Mikey says, says I'm listening to you guys while I'm driving, so forgive me for not reacting or typing things. That's cool, Mikey. Be safe.
Drive safe.
Yeah. But yeah, the intelligent communication we got at the jail was pretty interesting. I definitely want to go back, and I've talked to the owner, and I need to find his phone number because, like, I got a new phone since then. I may have lost his number. So if you're out there, Anthony, you need to call me. But we're wanting to do a second investigation there. I've got his phone number somewhere around here, but we're going to try it out and see, because there was a lot of people knew we were going that night. The building actually got vandalized because we posted we were going. and
Mhm.
some idiot snuck in there and wrote boo and ghost stuff all over the walls and vandalized the upstairs of the old jail, which we were really upset about because, like, that almost made me not want to announce where we're going or do live feeds anymore, just because some people knew we were going. We posted out on the page ahead of time in advance, and somebody
Mhm.
snuck in there and vandalized the place. So not cool at all. But we definitely want to go back to the jail. Now, we found out through the mayor, Tyler Griffin. He's a friend of mine and brother. He told us about the stuff that was happening or had happened there about I believe it was an officer had died of a heart attack in there. Wasn't that it, Sophie?
Mhm. He died of a heart attack. Yeah.
Yeah. So we didn't have any information regarding any deaths in the old jail until Tyler,
Mhm.
the mayor there in Bridgeport, cool guy. We really appreciate his information. He came along and researched a little bit of that for us and found out that there had been a couple deaths in there actually. And we got ITC communication on the ghost box. As soon as I turn this ghost box on in the upstairs second floor, it goes law enforcement. You remember that?
And they said heart attack twice, and they also
Yes,
called me
hard.
pretty, and that's how I got
Yep,
my
yeah,
first ghost
oh,
boyfriend.
yeah. That's where Sophie got her first ghost boyfriend. I do remember that. I did. Yeah, did it say pretty or gorgeous?
Gorgeous.
It was gorgeous, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I think it said gorgeous, and then we got heart attack twice, and we got law enforcement, police. Um, Greg says, "Hope the police don't pull you over, Mikey." That's funny. But we're definitely going back to the old jail, and
Mhm.
maybe in the near future there could be the possibility of public haunted tours there. The owner was
Mhm.
talking to me a little bit about that, but it's going to have to definitely be fixed up a little. It's pretty dangerous. The stairway going up to the third floor, we had to play like ninja and jump across the stairwell, and it was bad. I
My
slipped.
crippled butt could barely get up there.
I slipped once going down the stairs, and Tyler
Oh
caught me.
yeah.
I slipped on some like loose stuff coming down. Like I about went down too, so it's pretty
Mhm.
bad in there. So we don't end up ghosts again for everybody else to hunt. We better be careful in there. Okay, 33. So Ravetown Bridge. That is 12 December. Which is December 13th of 2021.
Mhm.
And Sophie went to the Ravetown Bridge area where we experienced some really extremely weird stuff going on. Is why we went live in the first place. Like,
Are we talking about oh yeah, the ashes?
yeah, the ashes.
The ashes.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
it looked like a different world when we got on this bridge, guys. And it just started when we started recording. All of a sudden, like this stuff comes down. We thought it was snowing for a minute, but it wasn't
Mhm.
snow. It was like this ash,
And
and
we
this was
smelt
like,
it too. We smelt burning
yeah,
too.
we smelt something burning. Yeah, so I mean, it definitely wasn't snow. And this stuff's coming down. It's like, I mean, it's ash. You can feel it on
Mhm.
your skin, and like it. I caught some of it even,
Mhm.
and we could not find any source for what was causing this. I looked for a fire. I thought maybe there was a brush fire off in the distance.
Mhm.
Like I was actually gonna go find it, and call it in because the smoke and the ash was so thick that the weird thing is, right when we get off the bridge, it quits. Like it was on the bridge and
Mhm.
nowhere else. That's what that was what was weird. But
Mhm.
I'm not saying it's paranormal. It's definitely aliens again. But
But it was odd.
yeah, it was odd for sure. I mean, what's your opinion? I mean,
I personally think maybe it was paranormal because I remember there was something going on that night. Was it the moon phase or something? I forgot, but I think it was paranormal because we went all over, checked literally around the area, no matter what, there was no ashes anywhere else.
yeah, yeah, I don't understand it either. It's pretty weird. Um, so it's just something weird. And we got didn't we get some communication on the ghost box that night too?
Oh, I don't remember. I think we did. I don't know. I more or less more pay attention to the ashes, to be honest. I was just like,
Yeah,
dang, this bird is on fire.
yeah. Then we went down to South Bend Cemetery, and was that the same night we captured a really good EVP there?
No, that was actually my first. I don't like South Bend Cemetery.
Yeah,
I don't like that place. Um, don't like it at all. But the thing is that we went there like a week prior. I'm pretty sure, like a week prior, because we were with Courtney and we had went to Rafetown Bridge and then we went to South Bend. So this wasn't live.
Okay, yeah. Well, we got a good EVP there too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was one of our investigations we didn't go live on, I think. But
Mm-hmm.
um, anyway, going on, we got to move on because we got a big list here. Page
Mm-hmm.
30, or number 34 in 2021 on December the 13th. We also went to Redford Cemetery, which is over in Jasper County. So we ended
Mm-hmm.
up going to get gas, and Newt decided to go to Redford Cemetery and investigate there, which is
Mm-hmm.
also known as a particular hill that I can't mention on live feed, but there is another name, local name for Redford Cemetery in Jasper County. It's one of the local hotspots in the area. Now, the story is, there were slaves that were hung there, and there was a house nearby where slaves died. But the true story is that there was a guy that was actually called James or Jace Wheeler. I've seen him called both in different historical books, but on his tombstone, we've got pictures of it and everything. But it's back in the woods about a quarter of a mile behind the cemetery, and unfortunately, it was destroyed and vandalized by people a couple of Halloweens ago, probably about 3 Halloweens ago now. And we were so mad about that too. They went back there and destroyed the grave, like a historical, gravestone that they just tore up. And I don't know why these people do these things. And I even told the sheriff's department who it was because I found out. I did some research and some digging, and nothing was done about it. They said they couldn't prove it was them. So people get away with this stuff. It's sad, but we think the haunting is caused even before the tombstone was broke. We think the haunting is caused from the individual that's buried in the woods behind the cemetery there at Redford and Jasper County. So that's been a local hotspot for paranormal activity for local teenagers and stuff for years here in the Crawford and Jasper area. People have talked about that. So, but anything you want to mention about that before I move on?
So besides, a man, being lynched at the cemetery, something else really stood out to me was the odd, and I'm not going to say any names because there's still a family out there, I'm sure. Is the oddity of deaths in the front row of the cemetery. So there is what the story I was told was there was a girl that was, she was bullied really badly and she had committed suicide. And the rest of her family just died a bunch of odd deaths, and it's basically suicide after suicide, and then a car wreck, and it was just really tragic, and I really felt for that. It made me feel really sad, and I kind of want to go out there and leave roses on their graves because I don't know, it makes me feel really sad. I don't like that.
Yeah. And that was actually the first time, I mean, these people that vandalize this place are so disrespectful. And then, Sophie comes in here and she's so respectful of these locations. Like, I was blown away by her respect that night because she's actually, when I told her the story about these graves, I'd never seen anybody do this in my life. That's why it kind of, floored me a little. And, she's actually, kissing the graves, and was going around kissing the graves of, the people I told them that had died, horrible deaths. And I've never seen anybody do that. So the amount of respect she has, I have to respect her for the amount of respect she has for the dead, definitely, because that's just, you've got to do that. You got to respect these people like they're, your loved ones. And these people that go around and vandalize places are just to me, just horrible. I mean, you can't do anything worse to something that cannot even defend themselves. Those people can't come back and defend themselves, so we have to.
Exactly. So. It's just, I see it like they served their time. They had their due in their life, and I have to respect that. They went through the ultimate challenge, and that's something that I have to respect. And also, I mean, when I pass away, I'm gonna have plenty of friends waiting for me on the other side.
Yeah, for sure. Yep, definitely. So that was Redford Cemetery in Jasper County, guys. Number 35, me and Sophie went to the old Cathedral French and Indian Cemetery in Vincennes, Indiana on December the 17th, 2021. We did kind of a Vincennes, Indiana trip where we went around Vincennes, Indiana to investigate the haunted locations and supposed haunted locations, in and around Vincennes. And that's the little cemetery there beside George Rogers Clark Memorial. And you want to talk about that too?
Yeah, so before we went there, I laid down some pennies and just let them know that, hey, we don't mean any harm before we started the live, because I feel like that's the best way to kind of earn their trust. Be like, hey, we just want to prove that you still exist and you're still here.
Right.
So, we started, we didn't do any, I think we went straight into the ghost box. Yeah, we went straight to the ghost box, started live. We explained a little bit of history, then we went straight to the ghost box. And the ghost box was telling us to go east, and then it told us river.
Oh
And
yeah,
so
yeah,
we had walked towards the river, and this was the first time also I've ever seen the cat ball go off. And so
yeah.
we had the cat ball right next to me, okay? And it just started flashing. And I was honestly, I feel like I missed it because I was so hyper focused on a section of the Memorial Bridge, because it looked like there was somebody hanging there for a second.
Oh yeah, I remember you saying that.
Yeah, it looked like there was, remember I was staring at it. I was just like, oh God, I hope this isn't what I think it is. And so it looked like there was somebody hanging there for a second. And it was probably just my eyes deceiving me, but I was literally just looking up at this bridge and looked like something was dangling. But anyways, uh we got some cool ghost box responses. I don't exactly remember. I remember having clear intelligent communication though.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I was reading the message Jody York had left. I'm not sure what she's referring to there. Which sign were you wanting changed? That sign change. That's why I'd like that sign change. I'm not sure what she's referring to. Yeah, Jody, if you can send me a message, yeah, just send me a personal message. Let me know what you're talking about, and I'll try to do whatever you're saying there. Sorry, Sophie, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
It's
I was trying to
okay.
figure out
I
what
was
she.
done with what I was saying anyways.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that was a cool place. We were cold.
It was freezing. I remember. So we went to that cemetery, and then we went to Fort Knox.
Yeah.
Fort Knox 2. So Fort
Yeah.
Knox is actually somewhere else. And we have Fort Knox 2. We have the Great Value Fort Knox.
Right.
The Clover Valley Fort Knox, okay, if you will. But we had gotten some cool communication there. I remember it felt like if we heard somebody running at us.
Right. Yeah, that was Fort Knox too. She's talking about, guys. That was on December 17th also, and we went live there. And yeah, I literally asked. I said, "Is there anyone out there that can communicate with me? Any soldiers, anything? Anybody that communicate?" I said, "Can you fire a rifle? Can you come toward us?" And we literally it sounded like there was a guy running in the brush toward us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it sounded like a human. And
Mm-hmm.
like I started to think somebody was really running at us. Like so,
Mm-hmm.
I tried filming it, and like I don't know if you guys heard it on the live feed or not. That I mean, it was just coming through the brush like somebody was getting
Mm-hmm.
ready to like come up on us,
Yeah.
and that was a pretty cool event too. So
That was pretty cool. And
yeah,
then I remember you we were hearing a bunch of cool stuff before we went live, and you were trying to get your little camera out, and you're like, oh my gosh, because we were hearing what sounded like a cannon or a gunshot or something, just boom, you know. And of course, we're in the country, so I mean, somebody could just be out late at night just shooting a gun. I don't know, but
right.
it was insane. And then he was just like, I need to get this going. Because also the ghost box, I think, was saying some pretty cool stuff. And then we started the live as soon as a train went by.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was bad timing. Yeah, as soon as we go live, this train just comes, and it's like, oh my
Mm-hmm.
god, that was a long train. So
Mm-hmm.
we had to wait for the train to go by, and we were actually hearing stuff previous to that train. So yeah, like she's
Mm-hmm.
saying, that's why we wanted to go live in the first place. It's just like
Yeah.
we definitely 100% want to go back to Fort
Mm-hmm.
Knox 2 area in Benson's, Indiana, and do like a lot of stuff.
Especially in the actual area of Fort Knox, because
Yes.
we couldn't actually get into Fort Knox. We had to like stand in the road right next to Fort Knox, so we have to do that sometime during the day.
Yeah, the park was closed. We didn't want to go into the actual area, so we stood outside of it
Mm-hmm.
because we didn't want to trespass go into the actual park area where Fort Knox was at. But Fort Knox was on the cliff above where we were standing on the roadway, the public roadway where we were standing, where the sign's at. So
Mm-hmm.
we were standing in the roadway, trying to record, which is between where the fort was at and the river, which was probably a good
Mm-hmm.
area actually. Even though we weren't in the actual area where the fort was
Mm-hmm.
standing, I guarantee you they traveled from there to the river a million times a day. So,
Mm-hmm.
we were in a good area right there where we were recording stuff. We definitely want to get permission, try to go talk to the Park Service and go back and do either a daytime investigation of Fort Knox 2 do some ITC investigations out there, EVP, research out there and see if we can pick up anything. So definitely a cool place. Next location we went to was in Vincennes on the same night was the Sugarloaf Mound. And that was a long trip up there, cold again.
That's where I felt like I couldn't feel my feet.
Yeah, I remember that. We got so cold. We got back to the vehicle, and she asked me if her feet were going to fall. Your feet were so cold. It was cold. I couldn't feel my hands either. It was bad.
Well, when we got up to Sugarloaf, there used to be stairs, and the stairs are now blocked off.
Yeah.
There used to be little tiny stairs, and now they don't got the stairs anymore, so we had to walk in the grass.
Yeah, I think there was a little set of stairs, but there was a tree that had fallen too on some of them. You couldn't even get to. But
there was a machine. There was a machine on one of them too. It was just weird how they were just blocking out the stairs.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I want to go back there too in the daylight, maybe do some EVP investigations. But the weird thing we picked up at the Sugarloaf Mound was something I never heard come across my ghost box before. Was we started getting communications in a different language that I don't even know what language this was. I mean, it was a weird language. I mean, it wasn't like Spanish, French, German. This was some type of weird. I don't even know. How do you describe it?
I don't know. I only know English, so I'm just sitting there just ooh, this is not English.
Yeah.
And it also was not Spanish.
Yeah, it was a very odd language coming across our ghost box. And again, we're up on top of this hill that's probably been there, and used for just who knows what type of ceremonial and ritual purposes, burial purposes over the years. Just we told the history during our videos. If you guys get on there, we called the park deal. They had a deal where you can telephone in. They had different signs throughout the area where you can telephone in. It tells you the history of the location. So we kind of put that on the live so you guys can hear that. You missed that one at the Sugarloaf Mound in Vincennes, Indiana. Well, want to move on to the Night of the Witch?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, next one we go to is number 38, was Night of the Witch. It was the winter solstice. It was December 21st, 2021. We decided to go out, basically after we did this show where we done the talk show that night. You were talking about witchcraft and all that stuff, that you're into. We talked about, it kind of gave me the idea of that'd be cool if we hit, all the witch areas, all the grave sites of places where women or men even were rumored to be witches. So I mapped out this area, and of course we started off with Baker Cemetery down in Eastville, Illinois, with Elizabeth Betsy Reed, because
I love me some Betsy. I can never get enough of Betsy.
Yeah, she likes Betsy. I mean, she thinks it's a really peaceful, respectful place. I think that's one of her we're kind of joking around, kind of rating some of these places because she's new to this. And to her, that's like a level 1 haunting where nothing, it's kind of peaceful and not too much happens, but yet there's something. And Pine Lawn Manor is like a level 10. She went straight to level 10 here a while back. But
Pine Lawn is traumatizing. I didn't okay, for those who got the marbles thrown at them and stuff, I'm going to defend my piece real quick. I didn't get the marbles. I got what we're going to talk about here in a minute, okay?
Yeah.
I went straight into the traumatizing stuff.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we started out at Baker Cemetery. Didn't get a whole lot there at Betsy Reed. Went on to Night of the Witch Part 2, which was St. Omar Cemetery. Again, December 21st, 2021, the winter solstice. That's why we chose that night. St. Omar Cemetery has, the grave site where, she was supposedly, it was what, Caroline something?
Caroline Neps? No.
Maybe, yeah. But she said she was going to curse the town, so they put an impossible death date on her tombstone of February 31st. And supposedly she couldn't come back to life or curse the town or anything because they put that impossible death date on there. What's that?
So what's hilarious about this story, right, is that in some form, that is witchcraft.
Yeah.
Because they execute her for witchcraft, and then they perform some sort of witchcraft
to keep her in the grave.
That way she doesn't come back and haunt the town.
That is true.
It contradicts itself because it's oh, we're gonna, because it's manifesting, you know what I'm saying? It's using energy. You're manifesting like, oh, if we put February 31st on her gravestone, she won't come back.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. I've never even thought of that. Same way with like the next one we talk about, which
Mhm.
at St. Omar, though, we heard something run at us real quick. I don't want to discredit that before we take off because
No,
we
it.
again heard something run at us to the
Mhm.
point to where we flipped the lights on and you could physically hear it in the live feed, I think, hitting the ground. It sounded like
Mhm.
somebody charging at us again. A lot of people reported
Mhm.
that there. Pretty creepy.
Did not like. 10 out of 10. Did not like.
Yeah. um, And then we go to Chesterville to the
Mhm.
Chesterville Witch for Night of the Witch Part 3 on December 22nd. And basically the night of 21st going into the 22nd. And that's where the Chesterville Witch is buried. You know, she was supposedly an Amish woman who was an outcast or left the Amish community is
Mhm.
one story. And she got stoned in a field and killed because of practicing things, herbal medicine and things that they deemed to be witchcraft back in the day is one of the stories regarding that. And then they planted a tree, more witchcraft, like she's saying, on top of her grave to keep her soul from leaving her body and escaping into the area and causing havoc on everyone. So again, another witch story where they're trying to keep these witches or their souls in the grave after death. And again, like she's saying,
It
witchcraft,
don't make no
stop
sense. It
witchcraft.
doesn't make any sense.
I never thought of it that way.
Like
Yeah.
bad witchcraft, but to punish you after death, we're gonna give you more witchcraft.
Yeah. Yeah, I never even thought of that. I knew I had you on here for something. No. the, part 4. Oh yeah, Night of the Witch Part 4. We went to Partlow. Remember that? Oh my god, that was traumatizing to you too. I think.
That was okay. So not as traumatizing as what we heard at Pine Lawn,
Yeah.
but it's up there with like, especially with the oil rigs in the back, just going back and forth and just getting these I was just getting these terrible feelings, just these awful feelings of just complete dread. And then I would see like I'd see these little shadows like dart across the cemetery, and I'd
Yeah.
just be thinking, what are you running away from? I'm right here. I'm not gonna hurt you.
Yeah. Yeah, it was weird. The sounds of those oil wells out there. And again, supposedly this woman was a more of a like a I would say crazy lady. I don't. That's how they describe her. She would go around the woods in the area and scream, and she'd go up to people's houses at night and yell in their windows, that type of
Hey,
stuff.
that's not crazy. That's being a free spirit. All right.
That's
I encourage that
you do that
behavior.
every night.
Disma- dismantle social norms. Scream in your neighbor's window butt naked.
Okay.
That is my wisdom for tonight.
Well, you know who's at your window butt naked tonight, guys. If you hear somebody screaming. Anyway.
I'm gonna have cops banging down my door the next morning.
Okay, I guess this is completely normal stuff we're talking about, guys. This isn't witchcraft.
Duh, you guys don't do that. You guys
But yeah,
don't run around the woods and around the streets butt naked at 3 a.m. yelling at your neighbors. Don't know why you wouldn't.
oh god.
Sounds like you guys are the crazy ones.
Yeah. But yeah, those oil rigs, those were creepy. And I think the sound of the oil rigs may be contributing to a haunting there because I'll tell you what, if I was like trying to rest in peace there or buried in that cemetery, I think there's infrasound coming off these oil wells. It's making these horrible sounds that could be causing, this creepy effect and creepy feeling because infrasound can really mess with the human mind. It can cause you to feel panic. It can cause you to sometimes see things. You can get into what's called the ghost frequency from infrasound and stuff that can cause people to think something's going on when it's not and freak out. Oil wells could probably produce that in a way. A fan can produce certain sounds that are similar to that. And it just it was a crazy time, but really freaky sounding place anyway. But we're going to move on, guys, to what's happened to me and Soapy recently here, and it's pretty good timing. I mean, we're about in at 2 hours here to start talking about this last stuff. So, number 42, we went to Pine Lawn Manor, and we've been so many times. Like you're gonna have to tell me what date that was because I'm
That
confused.
was on Thursday. That was literally just this Thursday.
Was
So,
it this Thursday?
let me go in my calendar real quick
Yeah.
because we
So,
went Thursday morning.
and yeah, we
So
went like Thursday morning, like as in
that
like
was the 30th.
we got there at what, like probably 2 in the morning.
2:30. I think it was about 2:30 in the morning was when we got there.
Yeah. So we didn't get to Pylon Manor until like 2:30 in the morning, guys. We decided to go out and think well, Jareth and a couple people had been there, and we got there late, and we left, or they left. I'm sorry, Jareth and these other people left. It was just me and Sophie there. As soon as they walk out the door, all hell breaks loose in this building, guys. Like I have never in my life heard anything like it. I wanted to get the clip uploaded. I will play it on a future show, I promise, because me and Sophie got to
I
get
think I
together.
may have had recorded it on my phone too.
You do have it recorded?
On my phone, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
But I don't know how well that's going to go through on the speaker here.
Yeah, you may not be able to hear it like what to give it any justice, but I'm telling you guys, we were sitting there. We were sitting in the 3-chair area up near the dining room to the right of where that goes into the dining room. Like if you walk into the entrance and go left, right in that hallway, basically, almost right across from the kitchen. That's where we were sitting when we started hearing it, wasn't it? Like right across.
It was. So no, the first time we heard it actually. So this was before Jareth left. This was before Jareth and the couple people went to the other side of the building because we decided to do 2 separate groups, right? Yeah. So Jareth and his friends went to the other side of the building, and we stayed at one part, all right? And this was not too far away from the cafeteria, about down the hall from group 3 in that corner. And we sat there, and that's when we first started hearing, like, I'm going to say it, the death rattle. Yeah. The groaning, the man, somebody is obviously in pain here. You know, and it wasn't as loud. It wasn't as, like, it wasn't as loud. It wasn't, yeah.
Did you read that?
Yeah, I read that. I'm trying to ignore it.
We're sorry, guys. Somebody on YouTube's being a perv and talking to Sophie. We apologize for if you can see that. I'm not sure people on Facebook can see this, but I may have to block this person. I don't know. I don't think Facebook people can see both like we can, but
I am tired and I hate it here.
Yeah, there's some comments coming off YouTube right now that aren't very appropriate, guys. I'm very sorry for that. If you guys can see that, if anybody's watching on YouTube right now, but I don't even know if I can like block this person. I'm gonna try. I can. Yeah. All right. Sorry, Mr. Or somebody, but you're getting blocked. Sorry about that.
As I was saying. So that's when we started hearing like this groaning, this obvious man in pain. And it was a man, it was distinctly a man. And so Jason and I, we got kind of creeped out by it, and I couldn't get my recorder out in enough time to get it because as soon as I got my recorder out, that's when it stopped. And so we go to sit back at the like right in front of the cafeteria. Jareth and his friends leave, and that's when we get it again, and it's louder. And Jason and I are freaking out. Jason and I are like, but not only that, right? So Jason and I are sitting right next to each other, right? And right next to Jason, we hear like this. Can you hear that? Like the scratching noise on Jason's seat. And none of us are scratching. Like we're looking at each other and we're just like, he's like, Sophie, where are your hands? And I was like, right here. I put both my hands up and I'm like, right here. Like what? And the scratching noise is still happening.
Yeah.
And it's literally right next to his butt. And so I'm just like, like we're thinking that's weird, but not only is that going on, that man moaning and groaning and a death rattle is happening across the down the hall from us, right where the angel rooms are, which is where they went to go pass away. And so we're freaking out. We have no clue, and we're trying to debunk this. We're looking out the window to see if the wind is going or anything. The wind's not windy. It's not windy outside at all. you know?
Right.
And so finally we get my recorder out and we kind of like creep down the hall and we like put the recorder there. And then, we kind of like creep back out and like, so we've got the recording of it, guys. I swear to you, we got the recording. Okay. But so we sit back down and I can't even sit for a second. I'm standing. He's like, hey, do you want to sit? Because he's whispering to me. He's like, hey, do you want to sit down? Like, you probably need to sit down. And Jason's really encouraging me to sit down. And so in the EVP recording, you can probably hear like us whispering in the background because like we're kind of not really arguing, but like more like Jason's like, hey, you need to sit down. Like,
Yeah. I tried to calm her down a
down.
little too because I mean it was weird, guys. Like it was coming from near. If you've been in Pylon Manor, it's near where the Angel Room area is located. We thought it was coming, like she said, we thought it was coming from the Angel Room, but I went over there and narrowed it down. It was coming from a door that was completely shut. I'm telling you what, I've never in my life heard anything like it ever. Like in my whole paranormal career of doing this, I've never heard anything come close to what we heard. I mean, it sounded like a guy dying in this room. I mean, just, I mean, I'm trying to make sound effects here, but I mean, it was literally like that. It was like this guy was groaning and grunting and gasping for air, and you could hear gurgling and like just this guy was not having a good time. Like, I mean, he was suffering from some type of medical distress or, in the process of dying, it sounded like. So I don't know if we encountered the residual sounds, the residual activity of somebody passing away or what was going on. But I mean, I've heard people die. I've heard people pass away. Very similar sounds to what they make. I mean, it was extremely, extremely disturbing and tormenting sounding. And like it just kept going on. We recorded it. We got it on recorder.
And I also got the ending on recording of us getting up because once it stopped, we got up and we went to go get the recorder. And we went into the room to see like if there was, because Jason was really concerned to see if there was anybody actually dying in there. And guys, that's how realistic this was. Jason was genuinely just like, no, I can't. And I encouraged him. I'm the bad guy here. I was just like, let's not go in here. And you can hear me in the recording saying, don't go in there. Don't go in there. And he's like, it seems like Jason is kind of arguing with himself whether to go back in there or not. And I'm just like reassure him that like we shouldn't go in there because I say distinctly this. I say, Jason, there's a difference between paranormal investigating and literally traumatizing ourselves. I told him whatever's behind that door cannot be good. I was just like, I do not want to see whatever's behind that door because if I see a man die, I can't do it. I can't do it. And I'm talking like seeing a dead man die or something like that. Right. You know what I'm saying? Something that I just can't unsee, that I'm not completely ready for yet. I will be one day, that I'm just not ready for just yet. But Jason made a valid point of saying, what if it's a real person behind there dying? He basically was just like, I can't stand the fact that I wouldn't have been able to help. And so that's when, he got a valid point across to me. And that's when I was just like, all right, I'm going to back off. You go do your Jason EMT thing. And so he busts down because that door we try to open it, but it's kind of it's not opening. It's not even locked. It's more just jammed. And so Jason kicks the door in. Nothing's in there. Absolutely nothing. And then we realize, oh, there's another door to the outside. Maybe somebody was messing with us. And so he opens the door to that, and there's this piece of cardboard that if anybody would have came in, that cardboard would have been knocked down. Yeah. And so
there was nothing in there, guys.
I swear to God, I just heard a woo. I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my mind just talking about this. Anytime that I talk about this, I swear I hear, like, I think it's me manifesting it.
It was weird. It was weird, guys. Like she's saying, it was so real to me. I mean, I've heard things before. I mean, I've heard real stuff a lot. And, like, it was so real to me. I physically, like she said, I thought there was a real person in there dying. So, I didn't know some, squatter had snuck in, maybe overdosed on drugs or something. He's in there dying. So, I kicked the door in thinking I'm going to see a real person there dying. And there's nothing. Absolutely nothing. And like I kicked the door in at a point when it was still making a sound. So, nothing could have escaped. No one could have escaped anywhere in there. Had it been a real person, they would have not been able to escape fast enough, because I went through that door quick, and like nothing was there. So I mean, it was all out paranormal as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I cannot debunk it. I have no explanation for what it was. It just sounded like a guy just dying at the top of his lungs in there, like just. And we've got it on recording. I say we're going to try to get that recording like to where we can put it. She sent it to me before the show, but it was like a compressed zip file, and I couldn't open it. And I was in a hurry for time here, and then my computer went down. So, but the next show, we're going to try to play that for you guys and get that going, because this was kind of our looking back at 2021 show. And we had that kind of happen right here at the end of 2021 that we need to talk about and show you guys.
Well, that wasn't the end of it, remember? So basically another thing that we did is we were about to leave, and then finally Jason came up with the idea. He's like, hey, why don't we leave your recorder in here by itself? So there's two exits, right, at Pine Lawn. So there's there's an entrance, and then there's like somewhat of an exit. So there's the main entrance, right? And so we go outside and we act like we're kind of leaving, right? And then we come back inside with the recorder back into the main entrance. And he's like, hey, let's leave the recorder on this walker, which it was right next to where the death rattle was coming from that we heard. And so I started to set my my recorder there for a second. And then we were going to exit through the other exit, like we were actually leaving, like we were pretending to leave, you know? And so in the background, we hear this like, woo, woo, like, I don't even know exactly how it was, but it was like, woo, 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 or something. I don't even remember, but it was like a woo, and it was coming from the inside of the building. Yeah. And this was over at the other exit, you know? And so Jason, out of all people, is like, let's get the F out of here. And so I grabbed my recorder. He's just like, it's following us. Let's get out of here. And it was almost, it was getting closer as we were leaving. And you can hear in the recording that I have another EVP of this, of us walking super fast to the door. And we're just like, let's leave. Yeah. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, because I was going to go out a different entrance, like she said. Like, I was going to go out the side entrance over there closer to where we parked. And as we start to get over there, that's exactly what it sounded like. It was like a whoop, 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 like almost like what, I mean, not to the point of what people describe as Sasquatch sounds like, but it was like, it was a person, you know, doing this like whooping high-pitched sound, and it was moving through the building, and like, there's nobody in there, guys. Like, I mean, I've been through every room in this building while we were in there that night. Nobody was in there, and nobody was in the hallway where it was coming from. You know, it's not like somebody snuck in and was messing with this. Like, there was no bodies to cause the sound. Let me put it that way. You know, it was originating out of nowhere. And like, I told her, I'm like, we're not going out that door. I said, turn around. We're going out the front door, because we're not going past this whooping guy. Because
I think you touched my arm for a second. You're like, let's go. Let's leave. And you're like,
I was probably starting to pull you at that point, because I was like, we're getting out a different way. So, because I'm not passing by this whooper, because like, I don't know what it was, but that was a messed up night. Like, I had never heard anything in there, and like, we've been trying to come up. Nah, it wasn't an owl, Joshua. Definitely not an owl. I mean, I've camped and lived out in the woods. I'm into wilderness survival. I mean, survival and camping is like my second thing other than ghost hunting. You know, I do wilderness survival, go out, like, you know, I don't even take a tent. I like live in the woods half the time. And like, this definitely was not a screech owl or any type of owl. This was inside the building, and it was like making sounds in the building. I mean, you know, it was crazy. And she was, I mean, truly tormented, kind of, weren't you? I mean, you were kind of like, I mean, you kind of scared to go back in there a little bit.
Yeah, the day, so even the day afterwards, that's when it was still fresh. I couldn't, and I remember I slept with my selenite right next to my bed. And I literally, I didn't want any nightmares about it, but felt like trying to fall asleep, that was all I could hear was it. I heard somebody die, basically. And I've heard it before. I've heard what dying sounds like, but this was just something that, it was not only hearing that, but also the energy that I felt and the feelings that I felt listening to it. And you can even hear at the end of the EVP that we have how terrified I truly was. Like in both of us, I mean, both of us were
Yeah.
shaking. Both of us were shaking. And so,
Yeah, when I can't figure out if I'm shaking from the cold or fear, that's a
mhm,
problem. Because, like, I was cold too, but I was also shaking. So it was like I
mhm,
couldn't tell if I was that scared or
yeah.
cold or combo. It was like I think it was a
Mhm.
combination of it was bad.
Well, I mean, it was I think the feeling that really haunted me is feeling so like helpless that you couldn't do anything because I knew it I part of me like maybe it could have been a real person, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying? At the time I was like maybe this could be a real person, but I don't know what's happening, I don't know if somebody's messing with us. And then busting down the door, I felt dread. I felt this like weird dread come over me, and the same thing for like the next day. I just couldn't I felt dread and like that same voice, the groaning and everything, it kept replaying through my head. I remember I there was sometimes that like there was a moment, like a couple moments where I was like almost paralyzed kind of by like I would just be walking and I would just stand and just like I would hear it. And it was terrifying. It was sad. It made me feel dreadful. It made me feel helpless. And so I remember we were supposed to go. We pulled out front, and I still couldn't get over that feeling. I still couldn't like
Yeah, that.
still hadn't comprehend the feelings that I had felt, you know, and I am going to go back there, absolutely, and I am ready to go back there. But it just took me a little bit to kind of, have to comprehend what I was feeling and what happened, because not only did this happen, but also as far as I'm concerned, this is rare for that to happen, something this intense.
Yeah, yeah, it's very rare. Like I say, I've never heard it anywhere in my life. Never heard anything like it, paranormal wise, anyway.
Hmm.
You know, there was. I don't think there's any. I mean, I try to debunk everything, but I don't know how we can debunk that because I mean, there was nobody there. It was in that room. I mean, we narrowed down where it was coming from, and it was not there when I kicked the door in, and then the whooping sound that came down the hallway toward us and moved around. It was just
Hmm.
very, very, very strange. I mean, I rated up there with the dang blood I seen on the wall. I mean, it was
Hmm.
that weird.
I think, I don't know, Pine Lawn, I do enjoy going there because there is a lot of activity that does happen there. But I do believe there's a lot of tortured people there,
Yeah.
tortured souls there, a lot of negativity,
Hmm.
that I think, and this is what I was going to get to on my theory earlier. I think with the marbles and things that happened, I feel like that was kind of them just like being like, hey, look, we're getting your attention. And then, going from that to now we've got your attention. This is what happened here, you
Right.
know?
Right. Yeah, I think so too. It may just be. It just continues. Pylon is like when you think it's going to do something, it increases and goes up another level. It's just like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, we're going to throw marbles at you, then we're going to like make the walls bleed, and now you're going to hear us die. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that's pretty much what's going on. I mean, it's just like it's crazy. And to answer your question, both your questions, Greg, look a little overwhelmed. Jason, great experiences. Sophie, new. I never saw her before. Yeah, she's fairly new. She started in what, December?
Late
Well,
November.
yeah, late November. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so but she's been a lot of places with me already and done pretty good, Greg. So, um, what was the noise? And then he says again down here, says, was the noise gurgling? There was some gurgling. I mean, there was some, yes, you could hear fluid like in somebody's lungs
Mm-hmm.
or like even like a gunshot wound or something, or fluid, it was like you could hear fluid, and coughing. It was almost like they were, aspirating or,
Mm-hmm.
had fluid in their lungs. I mean, it was just an awful sound.
It sounded exactly what you'd expect somebody not dying peacefully would sound like,
Right.
like they're because when you die, sometimes, like I said, the fluid in your lungs kind of gets built up and you drown in your own drown. And it
Yeah.
just sounded like it sounded like a mixture between like pain, like whoever was dying was not dying peacefully.
Yeah.
It sounded like they had just gotten, I don't know, just they had just died one of the most cruel deaths,
Hmm. Maybe Greg. He said throat cut. I mean, it could have been. I don't know. It was just a weird sound. Could have been. Then Omni says, does Ivan have a connection to someone dying in that building? Not that I'm not that I'm aware of. I don't think so. Said I had this at old Baraboo. I'm not sure. But yeah. Yeah, it was strange, Greg, for sure. He's talking. And Jody, York, yeah, I definitely come back with us, guys. Yeah, Jody's one I'm not sunny about that it likes to follow around in there, and she can verify, that I pulled them aside and searched them because people thought, maybe they were throwing marbles that one night, and I knew they wasn't. I just wanted to verify to everybody else they weren't doing it, but like Jody and her group's extremely cool, and it gets like they follow her around that place like crazy, and stuff just goes flying everywhere around them. Like they like them, like these ghosts and spirits in Pylon definitely like Jody for some reason, and the group of people she brings. So we'll try to get her and that group to come back, and we're gonna go live. Hopefully, if we can get them back in there, so just to see if it sparks some activity up. But like I say, it's a whole new deal going on now. So.
Jody, I hope you can get the marbler going again, because if they like you, then they want to traumatize us. I don't know what's happening here.
They like Jody and want to traumatize Sophie.
They like Jody, want to traumatize me.
Yeah.
But it was just, I don't know. It's really cool to get experience there, and I mean, that alone was enough to be like, okay, well, I don't need marbles, but hey, I want to play games sometimes too. I want to have marbles thrown at me. It's funny because Jason will sit there and he'll be like, hey guys, throw something at us. And I've heard of not so nice things being thrown there. And I'm like, hey guys, you guys want to throw something nice like a feather or a marble or make me a penny richer?
She gets a little upset with me because I'm not real specific on what I want thrown. I'm just like, throw something at my head. And she's like, well, that could be like a chair.
Throw something. And they're just like, fine. Well, the other night, we forgot to mention this. The other night, and Jason sat there, all right, and he was just like, because nothing had really happened all night. And he was just like, I'm so tired and bored. I'm bored and tired. And he like grabs his ear real quick and he's like,
oh yeah. Ow. I remember that. I forgot about that. Yeah. I said I said I was bored too, but knowing that like nothing was going on because we were there and nothing was happening, which happens.
You said exactly. You said I'm bored and tired. I'm tired and bored.
Yeah, and about the time I said that, like no kidding, like I had this stabbing, like sharp pain in my left ear, and my ear started fluttering, like this fluttering feeling, like a butterfly in my ear. It literally felt like somebody put a pencil in my ear and started like grinding it around right after I said that. Like I thought I was gonna have to leave the building. Like it was weird as heck. I completely forgot about that. I mean, see, there's so much stuff that like happens, just things I don't even remember or recall half the time, because there's so much that happens to me there and so much weird stuff that goes on. It's just like, I completely forgot about that. But that hurt. My ear hurt like the next day, even for a little while. Like, and it just started instantly in there. And I've never had anything like that either.
Made you sad. I remember that.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I'm not anymore.
Yeah. Try to read some of the comments here real quick. Who's this? That must be someone on our administrator. I sat a little back from the group at Pylon and saw the marbles coming from areas where there was no people. The spirits also liked the music because they left coins when a young man played the music. That may be Becky. Is that you, Becky?
I think that's Becky.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, Becky. Yeah, Becky Becky hadn't seen the marbles. She's on my team, been on my team for years, and she went this year and finally got to see the marbles. So I'm really glad about that, because she had not experienced that, I don't think, until this year. So, okay, yeah, it's her. Thanks, Becky. Yeah, I just didn't know if it was you. I thought it was, but Becky experienced some cool stuff. And there was a guy that played a guitar in there, and they left coins on his guitar as kind of an appreciation thing because he was playing for him in there, which was pretty neat. And then, so he says, Pylon was for intellectually impaired. I guess maybe I'm not old enough to really know a ton about the place. Super interesting to me. I'm a special education teacher, which I know is definitely not the same. but I find it fascinating. Yeah, it seems like anybody that has a connection to helping the mentally disabled learn, or even like through nursing homes or anything like that, it seems like they have a connection with them, and either show their appreciation or communicate with you. But Greg says you're Greg says you're getting a wet wheel.
You were getting a wet wheel. You said that, didn't you?
Do what? I might have
Somebody
said that.
else said
It's like,
that.
yeah, somebody just stuck their finger in my ear or something. Didn't feel too good, but that's
You got an
funny.
extreme wet willy.
Yeah, me and Greg must think alike. but yeah, guys, that's what we had happen. So, we got a lot of places planned for the upcoming year. Got a lot of places already lined up. A lot of cemeteries. I don't really want to announce some of the cool cemeteries we're going to, just because I want to like kind of wait, because I don't want people to be out there waiting for us when we get there. We're doing vandalizing like they did to the jail, so we're gonna kind of this year. We're gonna do a lot of lives this year. I mean, and like hopefully, like I say, nobody will go to these places in advance, and we're probably gonna just announce we're going live on some of them and not tell you guys where we're going until we're there, just for safety concerns, and so we don't have issues like happened at the old city hall and jail this in 2021, where they went in and vandalized it because they knew we were coming. Definitely gonna do a lot of stuff this year. We appreciate you guys watching the show and reflecting back on 2021. It was a crazy year. I changed a lot of team members in 2021. A lot of drama took place between the team and from the later part of 2021. Put out an application process to find new team members, and got over 30 applications turned in from a lot of great people. So I thank everybody who did turn in an application to the team. I'm sorry if we didn't pick you. We're real picky and try to get dedicated people. Just not everybody can do this. And be out at all hours of the night. Like we do. So it takes a certain type of person to to do this. And but we appreciate all the applications that we got turned in in 2021. Also, we put that out, but. Yeah, I actually kicked off like 7 or 8 team members in 2021 due to the fact that they started another group and didn't tell me, so that was in my contract. I've talked about that in one of my previous shows. I've got a contract with rules and guidelines that we follow. It's just a conflict of interest if you, have another group or start in another group. So, I removed a few of them, and that's what happened with that. So, we're going strong going into 2022, and yeah, we're going to hit some awesome places this summer too, guys. We're planning a trip to Salem, Massachusetts, to the all the witch sites around Salem. We're going to be going to the Bell Witch Cave in Tennessee. We got a lot of stuff planned here for 2022. So definitely hang in there.
It's the year of the witch, Jason.
I know. Yeah, it's going to be the year of the witch, not the night of the witch. That is true. It's weird because we're kind of like focusing on these places. That's some of the places I didn't get to in like 2019, 2020 because they were shut down. But yeah, definitely a lot of places opening back up now that we can investigate. So you guys are going to see a lot of cool investigations. And if you guys have any pointers or any locations you want us to investigate, definitely don't be afraid to email us or send us a message regarding that. If you got any places, houses or any location you'd like us to investigate, we do that free of charge. We only, obviously, if it's a residential or house investigation, we try to take serious cases. We get a lot of calls, a lot of investigation requests, and I kind of have to weed out the serious ones from the ones who might not be so serious. So definitely send us your information though, if you have a haunting going on in your home or business, and we'll try to get to as soon as possible. And 2022 is going to be a good year, guys. So, oh yeah, Mikey says we're going to get to the Hales Bar Marina in Tennessee again. Love that place. Yeah, that's a good one too, Mikey. I definitely want to return there, and I've got that guide on my page. So I think we're going to be investigating that also. So that'll be a cool one. Mike, hopefully Mikey and some people can team up with us on that one. Mikey, again, he's from Chicago area, team up there. Been with me several times on our investigations in the past. So, but thank you guys for all tuning in tonight. You got anything to say, Sophie, before we get out of here?
Happy 2022. We're gonna have lots of fun, and we're gonna have lots of fun adventures. I know it. I know we are.
Yep, we're gonna get some good ones going. So, All right. We've already got a couple ideas, guys, and we're going to hit some cemeteries when it warms up, too. But we may be going
Mhm.
live, I don't know, within the next couple weekends, definitely. But we'll let you know on our Facebook page. Definitely check in.
Mhm.
We'll keep you informed on our page when we're going live. And we'll definitely see you guys on the next one. So, hope everybody has a good evening. We're out of here for tonight. See you guys. Thanks for
Thanks,
watching.
guys.
We appreciate you guys and all you've done for us in 2021 and hopefully in 2022. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Bye.